welcome to another weekly outlook video. So as usual, we are going to start with DXY. So last week was a good week. As you can see, we had a bullish week. So this is the weekly time frame, and so far we have formed a weekly order block. So this is nice. So this confirms for me that there's a high probability we are likely to see a bullish continuation. And if that is the case, then previous month high is my draw of liquidity for the month. Because of course, when a new month starts, open, low, high, close. So if it's going to close as a bullish month, then previous month high is obvious target that the market could go for. So far that's all we have, order block on the weekly. So let's look at the daily time frame. So if you look at the daily time frame, as you can see, so far this is what we have. Remember last week we were looking at this inversion fair value gap, and you can see it acted as support for price, and so far we have all this bullish move. So the weekly order block is down here, and you can see on the daily we have this inversion fair value gap and this fair value gap here. So I want to see price uh, tag this, then we continue bullish, or we might get a deeper retracement so that price tags this weekly order block before we continue with the bullish move. So let's look at USDCHF, which is positively correlated with DXY. You can see it was a bullish week. Order block is here, previous month is here. So previous month high is here. So if you're going to have a bullish, you're going to continue with the bullish momentum that we see right now. I'm looking at this as the final draw of liquidity for price. So let's look at the daily time frame. So if you look at the daily time frame, of course, we had this inversion fair value gap which wanted to push price higher last week, and that is exactly what price did. So this week you can see we have inverted this fair value gap. Again, the same thing as DXY. I'm watching this as likely potential target that will be used to push price higher. And if price wants to get a deeper retracement, then this weekly order block could be another target before we continue with the bullish move. But I'm watching the daily key levels as my main point of interest. So let's look at EURUSD. EURUSD and DXY are negatively correlated. You can see we had a bullish DXY, so EURUSD is bearish. And so far we have that weekly order block in place, and also on the weekly you can see we have this inversion fair value gap. So if you look at the daily time frame, you can see it is so clear. This is what we have. The weekly inversion fair value gap is here and the weekly order block is there. So I'm watching this. I want price to actually retrace to this weekly inversion fair value gap, then we continue with the bearish move, or we might even have a deeper retracement to this weekly order block. So let's look at GBPUSD. So GBPUSD and DXY are negatively correlated, and GBPUSD and EURUSD are positively correlated. Okay, so far you can see I like how we had this sweep. We swept this high here. Then we got all this bearish move. Of course, we don't have an order block yet, but that's okay. The only thing I can see here is this volume imbalance here. So let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, okay, so far the same. We have an order block actually on the daily time frame here, which is in line with this volume imbalance, the weekly volume imbalance. So, of course, we want to see a retracement before we continue with the bearish move. This is my level to watch this coming week. So let's look at yen basket. So yen basket, of course, is just the yen. And as you can see so far, the yen has just been bearish, bearish, bearish. I'm honestly not... Okay, this is a previous year low. Okay, this is 2024 low. Actually, 2025 did not take out this low. And this was actually our draw of liquidity for 2025. So now it's another year, 2026. As much as I want to see more bearish moves, I honestly see that at this point, this market is really at a discount. It would be nice if we have a retracement before we continue with the bearish moves. So if you look at the daily time frame, the daily time frame is more clear, and you can see clearly the bearish momentum is still there. We even have the candles closing below this low here. So the bearish momentum is still there. Okay, because this low here has been drove liquidity for some time. We wanted to see price get here, but it did not get here. So Yeah, I still see how price can retrace. We tag this order block around here before we continue bearish. I see that happening. But if price is not willing to go down and we are likely and we want, maybe we might get a deeper retracement, then this fair value gap here will give us the confirmation. We would want to see price invert this. Once price inverts this fair value gap, then definitely we are anticipating more deeper retracement. So let's look at GBP JPY. So GBP JPY and yen basket are negatively correlated. So that is why I look at yen basket. If you trade yen pairs, always look at yen basket because that guides you. That's like a leading indicator for yen pairs. So if you look at yen, GBP JPY, you can see also it is really, really at a premium, the same way the yen basket is really, really at a discount. I honestly want to see a deeper retracement before we continue with the bullish move if this market is willing to continue going higher. So far, the only key level I see here is this weekly fair value gap, which I'm watching. If you're likely to have more bullish moves, this is the first level I want price to get to before we continue with the bullish move. But of course, guys, if price inverts this, then definitely that tells you you're likely to have more deeper retracement. But for now, this is what is there. So let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, of course, you can see. So this is what you had last week, and the weekly fair value gap is here. Honestly, I'm not interested in buying GBP JPY. I want to see that deeper retracement. So this weekly fair value gap here is my draw of liquidity. I want to see price get here, and then now from here, we are likely to continue bullish, or maybe we have again more bearish moves. So let's look at gold. So gold last week we didn't do a deep dive analysis on it the way we did for DXY and other pairs. By the way, you can watch last week's streams. It's very detailed. We actually did analysis from the yearly time frame all the way to the 6 months, 3 months to where price is right now, and you will now understand why we expect the kind of price action we want to see. So please go watch last week's stream if you have not watched it. So starting from the monthly time frame, clearly you can see gold has been rallying bullish, bullish, bullish. And anytime we have such kind of a market that is at all-time highs, you honestly don't want to be counter trending this or trying to anticipate a reversal, especially when the market has not given you any signs of a reversal. So to be honest, for gold, I'm just saying it's safe to look for bullish moves. And you can see we have this previous month high. So if you're going to continue with the bullish move, this looks like a definite draw of liquidity for price. So if you look at the weekly so far, this is what we had last week, and this is the high that I'm looking at. So if you look at the daily time frame, so far you can see, of course, that bullish momentum is still there, and this is an inversion fair value gap. So we inverted this fair value gap, tagged it, and this is what we have so far. And also you can see we had this tiny fair value gap here, which price tagged on Thursday, and then this is what we had on Friday. And this here is an order block right here. So I'm looking at a situation where this high is too near. I see how the market is likely. We might just open the weekend, go tag this high, or we can just tap this order block, then go for this high. And again, gold is at all-time high, so I'm not really in a hurry to look for reversals or to counter trend this move. If the market gives us more bullish fair value gap as the week continues, I'll just be watching those bullish fair value gap on 4-hour time frames or daily time frame and see if the market is likely to use it to continue pushing price higher. Because that's the momentum that we have. It's literally bullish momentum. So I wouldn't want to counter trend this. So let's look at NAS 100. So NAS 100, like gold, it's at all-time highs. So I wouldn't want honestly to counter trend or reverse this move. If it's going to continue with this bullish move, I'm watching this previous month high. This buy side liquidity here looks like a good drove liquidity for price. It's actually previous 3 month high, not previous month high, 3 months high. This is actually the 3 months time frame. So if you look at the monthly time frame, already you can see this month already we are showing bullish momentum. So that's what we have. Let's look at the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame too, you can see clearly that bullish momentum is still there. and this is an order block that has been formed here. So if you're to continue with the bullish move, honestly, I'm watching these highs here, and the market might we might tag this before we continue with the bullish move. Let's look at the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, clearly you can see had that high retracement high, and that's what you have so far. This here is a weekly order block, and you also have a daily order block here. So I'm watching this as likely price will use it to continue with the bullish move. Unless, of course, if we get bearish moves and bearish PTR is forming, with bearish fair value gaps, bearish order blocks, then that's when I can consider bearish move. But as of now, I just want to move with this trend. So yeah, so that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. I will see you in the next one.